Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a silver Ashe player. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what the rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. Okay. Let's see how E-turns has with the Ashe. Let's see how E-turns has. Let's see how E-turns does with the Ashe. We've seen the Reinhardt. Now we're going to see the Ashe. Okay, what are you set up with comp-wise? You're going for an early TNT. That's really too early to be effective. No one is going to immediately be there. You wanted to delay that for a second or two. You have to get a feel for what the timing is. And the timing that you run into here is, hey, there's going to be, not as good as Ryan. That's fair. The timing is going to be, it's going to take them time. Even if there's a Winston, and the Winston, like, it would take, like, this being a Winston or a Diva or a Tracer that immediately used their movement to get here. Like, that's what it would take for this TNT to work, make sense, get value. This is just too early. So you just need to get a little bit of practice, and you just need to keep adjusting to go, well, this one was too early, so now we'll wait 3 seconds. Now I'll wait 5 seconds until you find the timing that seems to somewhat reliably get someone here, if this is what you're going for. But no problem. Or maybe you just wanted it like that as a deterrent to make them go the other way. I wouldn't use it like that as a deterrent to try to encourage them to go the other way. Maybe that's what you were thinking. Maybe you intentionally didn't shoot your TNT and you were thinking, hey, I want this to land over here to make them not go this way to instead go this way. I wouldn't recommend that because I think most teams on ladder would actually benefit from going out this way instead and then getting the easier path into here instead of what they usually do, which is go here and then try to walk across this choke to go this way. So I wouldn't deter them from going this way if that's what the plan was. Cranky Pants versus Funky Pants, who will be victorious? That is a good question. I'd say it depends on the day. You know, sometimes it's a cranky day, sometimes it's a funky day. There's probably more cranky days than funky days, but you know, teach their own. Okay. You are playing this with a Winston Hog tank line, and you're playing on a very standard angle here. Okay. Okay, so there's a bit of a cheat to this. If you just hold down left click, if you just do a straight throw of your TNT and you hold down left click and your TNT doesn't hit anything, you're going to hit your TNT every time. Maybe it's a little lame that you don't have to aim to do it, but if you just go press E, hold down left click as soon as, and as soon as your left click is willing to fire, it'll blow up your TNT. And if you're missing your TNT a fair bit here, which does seem to be, hey, I'm not convinced that you meant to miss this first TNT. I'm not convinced that you meant for this TNT to go this far, because if the TNT goes this far, if you blow up the TNT right now, it's great. If it goes further, it's going to end up down the stairs, which isn't what we want because we expect people to be grouped around here-ish. So that's a thing that we're going to do to make this a bit better. Now, obviously, the real thing, the preference would be, hey, I actually can reliably shoot my TNT, even if I throw my TNT up with an arc so that I can't just do the cheat so I can change the distance that it goes. But your sort of training wheels is I throw TNT, I don't move my crosshair, I just hold left click, and as soon as I can do a shot, I'm going to hit it. That's kind of going to be your training wheels to get some TNTs here. Neither characters are wearing pants. Ah. So you don't want to actually go like this. So here you are. Somebody get me some healing. You do start to lose some accuracy here, so usually you would mix in zooms as you went through here. Every few shots mix in a zoom just to reset your aim, and because that's how you're going to actually get your headshots and get your real damage. And if we're serious, you don't really need to hip shot at this range. You tend to hip shot when things are a little closer, a little more threatening than this. You'd actually generally still go for your scope shot here and try to really get that difference maker with this. We can go back further. I suppose we'll go back further here because this happened. Widow popped up there. That's obviously good that you and Fair teamed up and got her. You see that this Junkrat showed up here, and you shift, and this shift takes you over here. Do I want to talk about this? I mean, really, this is a why were you here in the first place type thing. Like, you're playing Ashe. You were up here so that you could get your TNTs. If you were more comfortable with Ashe, you'd be playing back here, and you'd go, I can still throw my TNTs, and you won't just be able to do the press E and immediately left click them as soon as you can because they won't be deep enough. You'll have to actually aim at them. But you could still do some work from here. This is more normal where you would play from as opposed to playing here, especially if you don't have like an Orisa or a Rhine Shield here, which you didn't. And part of the reason for that is it's leaving you in this situation where you're now sort of stuck playing a poor man's McCree at short, medium range here. You want to break line of sight, scoot left, scoot left. Okay, we could have put that a little deeper. Definitely could have put that TNT a little bit deeper. Close our angle. And are we going to look to go to get ourselves up out of here? Are we going to look to get up here where we can do a little bit more work with our high ground protection? I'd like that. Again, I don't really want to send myself away into the middle of the point. If I want to get away from this Reinhardt, I'm going vertical to put myself up here. And then I'm laughing at him as he can't swing his hammer up here. And I just go, hi, Ryan! How you doing? I'm going to pump lead into the top of your forehead now. Okay, cool, bye. That's what we want to do. Round 1, he turns wins, and here's round 2. Here's round 2. You have the bubble advantage. Please recognize it. Please recognize it. Oh my goodness, I'm so scared. Okay, so here you are. Reinhardt's gone. Great. There's a Widow there, and you should instantly recognize this because you should sort of have an internal timer going for when a Widow gets eliminated for how long it's going to take her to get back to the fight. And not long, because she's on top of her spawn. So you should have a feeling that she's going to be here, and your Winston just won this battle for you. Your Winston just dropped his bubble on point. You're in a place where you have the bubble. You can scope at her, take all the time in the world. Not actually all the time in the world, but, you know, you don't have to super rush this shot. Hit a headshot on her, and immediately followed up with another shot. Hit a body shot on her if you don't hit the headshot. Whatever, put some pressure on her. You have this bubble here. This is free. You have 10 shots. I don't care what's going on the point. I don't care that there is a Mercy here, a Junkrat here, a Moira here. They're not bothering me. My team will take care of them. My job is to take care of this Widow. Great. No. My job is not to finish off this Mercy. I don't care. My job, highest and best use of you right now is to check this Widow because no one else on your team can. And once this bubble is gone, your team won't have protection against this Widow. And it'll be way harder for you to deal with this Widow once the bubble's gone. So take advantage of it. This Junkrat isn't right in your face. This Junkrat can't even hurt you because the bubble's in the way. You don't need the Mercy elimination. You don't need the Moira elimination. Push the Widow. Those guys can't heal the Widow easily. Shoot at the Widow. Please, please, please. You still won, but that was so much harder than it needed to be. Like, you just relied on her not winning. You didn't win, you just relied on her not winning, on her not performing. And the Winston had done everything in the world he needed to. You could look at this Winston and be like, is this a silver Winston? Or is this a Masters Winston? Because this bubble was where you needed it to do everything you wanted. He got multi-purpose out of this. It helped him against the Junkrat. It helped your BAP be protected from the Widow. It helped you win the duel against this Widow. This was a great bubble. A great bubble. And you're just like, nah, I don't care. I'm going to shoot at the Mercy than the Junkrat. Ugh, it hurts. It hurts. Blah, our announcer, round 2. E-turns wins the sniper battle again. True, true. And I get that, E-turns, that you are focused on the middle of your screen, what's close to you. Usually it's going to feel like, hey, what's close to me is what's more important. What's close to me is more threatening. What's threatening is more important. But you need to put snipers on a timer, and you also need to understand that other poke DPS are going to put you pretty high on their priority list. You've got to put them high on your priority list. Every time she comes back, she's going to jump to the top of your priority list, and you should be ready for her. You should be prepared a second or two ahead of time for her until she swaps. Because snipers can, on this point especially, dominate the battle. And everyone else is just enabling them, and your Winston did a great job of enabling you. You just didn't care. Get in here. Cool. But where's the Widow? Oh, she did swap. Okay. I don't really like that one, this TNT, like I see it. I totally get it. There's a purple Rhine in there. There's tanks in there. I do get that, but I actually feel like, there's more you can do over here because it's both the retreat that the Rhine shield isn't blocking and more people are going to want to go through here, get in here. So if you could spend the time and you have 200 health and they don't have the Widow anymore, so I'd be willing to, as I'm reloading, walk my way over here, maybe as I'm pumping non-scope shots into them, walk my way over here, and then throw the TNT over here. I think you can get more value out of this right now. Cool. Excuse me? Excuse me? That's not where our TNT goes. You want to throw a TNT back there? You want to throw a TNT like over here-ish? No problem. Have at it. Micah the Moira, Micah the Mercy. Turns out there's a McCree back here, but something being behind this pillar, totally reasonable expectation. Things wanting to rotate through here, either to go this way or through here, totally reasonable expectation. Totally good with that TNT. That's not the TNT you throw. Okay, if you want the Mercy, if you're going, hey, the Mercy's weak, I want to finish the Mercy, that's fine, but you know where the Mercy is. You don't have wall hack, so you don't know exactly where she is. But this was never the place for it. The place for your TNT was, hey, let me get this. Let me just loop this over this. Let me loop this right next to this. Like TNT's as tight against this or over this as we could is what we were looking for. We were not looking for, let me just throw it in the middle here. This isn't threatening this Mercy if she stays here. It's only threatening her if she Guardian Angels back or if people just run forward here, etc. That's not as good as here or even here, which was threatening runs into here, threatening runs into here, threatening people behind this wall, threatening people maybe behind this wall, threatened multiple rotations and threatened people behind cover, or over here, which is I'm trying to finish off a low health Mercy. Those are things. This is not a thing. Not a place our TNT goes. How does one properly reload on Ashe? She always feels like I'm playing a reload simulator. Yep, she's supposed to. That is part of her balanced strength. How does one properly reload on her? With reload windows. When you're rotating. What you end up doing with Ashe, because, so here's... The answer to that is probably with rotations. Your first peak, when someone doesn't know where you are, is pretty powerful because they don't know where you are. People aren't aware of you. Their movement isn't in response to you. They're not holding a bead on your position, etc. So your first peak is here. Okay, great. This is powerful. Maybe you take a few shots from here. If you peak again, it's not as powerful. It's still got some value if they don't know when you're peaking, when you're not peaking, etc. But if you instead go yippity-doo-dah, yippity-yay, and now I pop myself up here and I'm peaking from here, or maybe I dropped down and I go peak from over here, this is going to be, again, a powerful peak. But it takes a fair amount of time to do this rotation. If you find a new place to peek from, that takes some time. But you can hide reloads in that time because Ashe has a particularly long reload. So if you go here, fire some shots, peek, fire some more shots, and maybe you get 6-8 shots left, your clip is mostly gone, and then you go, I need to get some reload time in. while I'm finding a new location to get a first premiere, a powerful peek off from again, I'm going to go ahead and get some reload done during that time. That's a thing that you can do to try to answer that, to try to get that in. But the real answer is you reload when you're behind cover, you reload after you've won fights, you reload when you have to reload, and you reload when you can find windows to do so. Because Ashe, you can interrupt her reload. So it's perfectly fine to go, hey, I'm going to have to go do this. It's fine to do partial reloads where you can, etc. But I hope that sort of answered your question. You play to the fact that she has a long reload time to go, I guess I should find more angles, new angles when I'm getting low on ammo. I saw a clip on this point where attackers eliminated all defender tanks and supports. Defender Widow Hanzo picked off all supports and DPS. Yep, snipers can dominate this map. You reload constantly on Ashe. Basically, is this Ashe going to be on the Scarfed Silvers team to go against Llama? Maybe. He should. If only the post would post. If only the Scarf would post a requirements info on the event somewhere. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Blah. It's a good thing I have Blah to remind me to do these things. Enemy contact. To be fair, guys, like I am doing other channel-related stuff with the time that you don't see me on. It's not like I'm just forgetting about everything. I'm doing things like figuring out, well, what should I do for ad spend? Well, what should I do for this? Well, should I go line up a new guest for an interview? Well, should I go do this, etc.? Well, should I go write something up? Like I am doing other stuff to, to do promotions and stuff here. But yes, I'll make that event happen. Does going Yippity Day enable you to take better positions? It does, Nardstorm. It does. It doesn't. It does not. Okay. Wasn't amazing as a TNT. You would E-turns if I'd posted anything in the event planning section. So that's on me. Okay, so here we are. This is again sort of a, hey, what's our positioning going to look like? That's not really where we wanted to use our shift, because we use our shift and it's just going to put us in the open, and this isn't great. We could have wrapped around here. We could have wrapped around here and gone, hey, I'm just going to accept that they're going to push past us. I'm going to rotate out here, and maybe I can get a pick off on the back here. Maybe on their Mercy, maybe on their Junkrat, maybe on their Zarya, etc. And now I have this deep angle from behind them, and maybe I can frag my way back into this fight. That would have been my real preference. My second best choice would have been, I'm not going to shift back. I'm going to sort of slow back myself up to get to here to see if I can get out with a shift to go get this, to play from up here, etc. But this was the worst option. This, like, hey, I'm just going to shift myself backwards into this. This was the worst option. We don't like this. And that Bob gives you a crossfire. So, like, the Bob's not terrible, except that you're going to lose the point. And your life. I mean, I can say that. Alexa, remind me to put the llama stuff in the event channel in 2 hours, but it's not going to do anything because I don't have that technology in here. Panic Bomb is eliminating people, but not winning the team fight, unfortunately. Better. This is better positioning than you had on first. Let's see where you fall back to as they get close. Good! Good. That's how you use TNT. Okay. Mr. Pew, don't reload with the... I don't mind that you missed shots. I do mind that you're just chilling here, like, let me just reload while McCree's... Oh, I can dance. I can out-dance contest this McCree. It's fine. No, just step down here. Just step down here. You can jump back up. It's fine. You're totally fine. Just step down here. It's not a big deal. Right idea. Yes! Good. Probably a little too long reloading here. I know you wanted your shots back, but you're looking at this. You don't have shots, so you start reloading. Good. You reopen the angle because your Winston went in. I already want you shooting again. I know you've only got 9 shots. I don't want this 10th shot reloaded. I want you shooting at the Zarya again. Dancing in front of them to establish dominance. There you go. There you go. Round shield is for him, not his teammates. Levy with the comeback. Okay, you know where that's coming from. What? Okay. I don't like that you jumped down here as opposed to jumping here. You knew that this Junkrat tire was coming from over here. So if anything, you were actually going to out-juke this tire by going here and shotgunning yourself this way to go, aha! And go try to do your shenanigans here. Just dropping actually puts yourself in a situation where you're more likely to put yourself right with your hog, where, of course, he's going to take the tire immediately to try to get multiple of you. Like, of course he was going to do that. You didn't have a great chance in shots in general, but your best shots were to go, I'm going to go over here to fight you and your tire from a place you're not expecting. This was way, way expected. Silver Ryans and Silver Ashes should have a dance competition. Okay.
Not letting that stand.
I thought he was going to send the tire up at the wall at me because I just shot at him. Yeah, no, I totally understand, and he would do that. It would be very likely that this tire would climb this wall and then grind itself over or go over here and come up here. That was a very likely scenario, don't get me wrong, but you don't really have a way to deal with that. The only other option for you is to go, I'm going to shotgun myself over here to give myself more time to shoot the tire, which would have been much better than what you did. This would have been fine. This would have been the higher risk play, but you'd have a pretty good probability of taking Junkrat if you specifically wanted him with you. Okay. Not sure why the first shot was at the Rhine. Who's that for? Is that for people tucked behind this wall, in which case it should be further over, or is that for the McCree? Bad compromise. Bad compromise. I don't like it. Like, yes, you got the McCree, but I don't like it. Just wait. Let your hog do work. Now go. Yep. Okay. Do you get back out with Bob? You can't just spend time fighting. You have to send Bob, like, nowish. Yeah, there you go. No shots? No shots after the Bob?
Do something!
Uppercut is good. Where's your shot to follow this? Do you have a scope shot on the Zarya? Do you have a scope shot on Cranky Pants over there? Are you going to throw in a TNT? What are we doing? We're going to AFK. I don't know why you tucked behind cover. They're busy reacting to Bob. Okay. There you go. You're slow on these McCree reactions. Like, he's effectively standing still. Your reactions need to be fast to McCree's. Either you're getting behind cover, but when you're playing hit scan, you fast flick to McCree's and headshot them. And I know it's hard, but you gotta flick fast on these to him. Like, that's gotta be a sound cue. Like a diva with defense matrix, you gotta be on that with, oh, I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna shoot you, if you don't think you're immediately gonna go behind cover. If everyone's left, exit right out of spawn. Yeah, you do want to take the off angle. That would have been preferable. I had a little more forgiveness this time because I expected that the Bob was going to get thrown and try to go deep, and then Bob would be playing from the right side of the point, so it would still be, okay, that's established a crossfire for us. And also, Bob is better contained if you throw him from the left to the right side of the point, but yes.
Switching sides. Initiating match.
Yeah. Well, I don't think so. Like, yes, if you can get Bob in a corner, that is harder to do. I assume what happened is the Bob. What did the Bob stop on? Bob can be a little tough because he sometimes it's like, oh, he hit the wall, he's gonna stop, but instead he slides against walls.
Bob, do
Cat.
something.
Yeah, that was him stopping because he did his uppercut and decided that this is where he was gonna be. So like, this is fine. Sending Bob through, getting the uppercut, that was fine. It was gonna be hard to get this past the Reinhardt. Would it have been better to uppercut someone else? Yes, it would have, but this wasn't a problem. I'd have exited right, then turned right and shot Bob on the corner, so there's now a triangle against the enemy team on point. Yeah, no, sending Bob here could have been fine. Sending Bob here could have been fine. I don't disagree with that. But the Bob ultimately stopped because it hit the Rhine, which is fine. And it was on point, and that Bob did need to be on point. Yeah, too slow to pivot to the crane, but wouldn't have mattered because the point in general.
Score 0-2.
Okay.
Switching sides.
Some more time in this game. Good.
Initiating match.
So we've got some positional issues. We've got some poor retreats. I don't think you know where you're going to go when you get pushed, and you're not using your shift to get to good locations. Like, you do primarily think of that shift, yes, as an escape tool, but it's not just a I generically knock myself away. It's a I knock myself up to high ground when I can. And I really want you thinking about that, looking for that a bit more. I also want you, thinking about how do I take these angles rather than just playing main, especially if I don't have a shield on main. On by a shield, I really mean Orisa.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
We've talked some about TNTs. Okay. Cool.
Enemy turrets down. Somebody get me some healing.
All is going according to plan.
You can advance. What are you doing?
Thanks.
Advance. Shift yourself up. Gonna find a TNT? There's plenty of TNT there. I would like you to get a TNT before they scatter, which it's already too late for. Long time to have not gotten a TNT. Oh, a TNT under the bridge could be good. Okay. Gonna work your way up left side? Like, you can't push through this, and you know this, so you could work your way up left side. Or you're gonna try and let your tanks make a little space and then shift up again. No, that wasn't great. Okay, you've got space. Okay. Reload. I'm not sure I wanted to shift up here with 6 shots. And your team down this much, but okay. Right idea, looking for the angle there. And now you're gonna back out. Sure. Okay.
Use caution.
Attack the objective.
Cease your resistance.
Right on schedule. Do something!
Okay. Are you also going to give me TNT? No. This pillar does still exist. This pillar gives you a semblance of safety. Even this bridge railing gives you a semblance of safety. Like, we can still play around this. We don't need to just be in the open here. Okay.
I'm on fire.
Remembered you had that cooldown, did you? Okay. Don't really like you standing there. Like, you were standing in the firing lane for the respawners. We don't really want to do that. I want to see temporal, compile common mistakes for each hero and do a guide. I mean, it's kind of what the mini guides are. Speaking of which, it's time for me to do another mini guide.
New defense point. Objective B.
You don't actually need to be trying to hit headshots on her when she's fortified like this. She's immune to headshots, so you're just making this harder on yourself.
Fire in the hole.
It's a little late, but fairly deep, so that's good at least. Good. Okay, please don't push up main, please don't push up main, please don't push up main.
Get ready for a shoot!
Okay.
You need to learn the ropes. Here it comes. Move back. Heldenstab.
Winston's in. Going for the Junkrat. Junkrat's no longer there. Go for the Orisa headshots.
Do something.
You'd have to drop to get a better Bob, so yeah, I'll deal with that. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. You knew that was a possibility because it was unfortunately the Junkrat. Like, you do have to recognize what Bob is going to run into here. And you do see, oh wait, there's a Junkrat. Like, you want to shoot that desperately, but oh well. Yeah, Bob.
Oh, let's break it! Damn!
Can you break that supercharger, please? Yes. Ignore the mercy. Thank you, Thank you, Sparkly. That was quite nice of you to put Bob on point for us.
Double kill.
Okay.
I am on fire. Taking objective. Support requested. Get healed.
You have shots to the left. Okay. You can drop. You have your shift and nothing's going to punish you.
Get
Okay.
ready for a shoot!
Smoke him out of there.
You know where that came from. Look for him. Relocate and look for him. You don't have shots here. Adjust. Like, you can pretty freely adjust between here and here. Like, you had shots down here a bit. You had shots up there for a bit. Over here, you'd have had shots on the Junkrat. You could have adjusted over to here. Like, don't be afraid to use your full space up here. And once you've actually consolidated the fight to happening over here, which until recently you've done, you're actually pretty free to drop down if you need to find different angles, because you can coach gun your way right back up and you're not going to get punished for not having your coach gun. Now you can get punished for not having your weapon because, hey, they just turned the fight. But reasonable question, Adam. I don't know. probably just bad,
My
but hey,
ultimate is charging.
Here it comes.
good luck with that one.
This is my jam.
Mm-hmm.
Form up.
So this isn't amazing. And the reason this isn't amazing is when you did it. So peeking as a poke DPS, a sniper, whatever, comes down to timing and surprise. Okay. You Winston here is here. That's not really a credible threat. It's sort of one. Your team is trying to rotate. Your team trying to rotate draws a little bit of attention, but your team isn't really threatening to the other team yet. These guys are all pretty chill back here. So, like, there's not a ton of threat going on when you do this peek. And it's okay to peek for a shot or two if it's from a new location that they're not expecting, when your team isn't a threat. But you got to be very careful about that. You're done. You're already done. You just fired 2 shots. You just fired 2 shots. You're already done. This team is totally lined up to protect against you, to fight back against you. She's got a shield. What are you doing? You're taking too long. You should have already been out trying to leave, etc. So, like, it really is a razor thin margin when you're doing this stuff, especially when you're pushing without when you're taking these pokes without your team. If you're taking pokes with your team, you get to stay in longer. You get to just be like, pow, 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 pow. I'm doing my follow-up shots because your team is making a good distraction for you. But when you're pushing, maybe to give cover to your team's rotation, maybe to be like, hey, can I get an early pickoff? It's really got to be a new location every time and just a shot or two. Round 3, Beans wins? Yeah.
Time to change things up.
Turret ahead. Use caution.
I'll take the objective. So you want to?
Okay.
Enemy turret destroyed.
Unfortunate.
Here it comes.
You wanted to try to explode that above Reinhardt's shield? What? What? What?
We're running out of time. Everyone, attack.
Why are you like aggressively pushing this when you're hogging your Winston right here? This Winston bubble being here means your team is not going to attack for like 10 seconds. It's not happening. And that's fine because there's still 27 seconds on the clock. But that's what this Winston bubble means. Can you use this Winston bubble to go for shots? Sure, but go for real shots, not just for pressure, pow, pow, pow shots. Like, these have to be real. I'm trying to, get elimination shots. If you want to put a little bit of pressure up, sure, but you better not be standing here when this bubble ends. You're not committing an ult. This bubble is a committal from your Winston that you're not pushing. Winston needs his bubble to make serious committals, to make serious pushes, and you're using your Bob like this is a serious push. Your Bob signals that this is a serious push when Winston is hard signaled that it's not. That's not going to work. You guys are completely running counter to each other here. My inner Rhyme came out. And Silver, Winston goes in without his bubble all the time. But those are... And Winston will go in without his bubble in higher ranks too. But it's the, I'm jumping to here. I'm jumping to here. They're not hard ins. Like, he's not willing to convert it to a real in until his bubble is out. It's the, I'm gently zapping you from above. I'm zapping you from here, and I fall down to here and use my next leap to get out. It's a little bit of harassment, a little bit of this. He's not going to make a hard in. Pushing without your bubbles, like a real push without your bubble, is pretty rough. Okay, now... Oh no! Oh no! Because this would have been a time that you could have actually stayed up there and done some work for a bit because your team is in.
Let's break it. Damn!
Caution.
Almost. Good. Can make this work. No, why? Why did you not look? You were right here. Why did you not look? Hey, where's this Ashe shooting from? You just saw the TNT come out. Like, this could have been... You want to take her out. If you take her out, you can win the point with angles. You can be like, oh, yeah, I'm here. She's looking at my team. I'm going to get a free headshot at her because she's looking at my team. It's going to be great. I don't want to be here. I don't need to pump damage into the fight. I don't need this at all. You do more to win the fight for your team by eliminating the threats, by removing them, than by getting on the point yourself.
Victory.
So, not the end of the world. Where do I want to start with you? Like, you need to understand the sniper battle better. You need to better prioritize the opposing sniper in terms of, hey, I need to at all times understand where they are. And that's going to be, if there's an opposing sniper, I know where they are. I know if they're eliminated, how long it takes them to get back. I know if I peek, I'm intentionally peeking and going for them first, or I'm peeking in such a way that they can't see me from where they are, so I'm doing work on their team, and they're going to have to move to be able to hit me. Or I can hit their team, they can hit my team, but we can't hit each other. But you're always conscious of where the opposing sniper is, and you're also conscious of what you're doing in terms of peak battles. You're totally happy to go, hey, I'm going to hop up here and take 2 shots. Yep, that's over. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to look for 2 shots. Oh, I got one. Cool. Maybe I'll keep going because I got one, and now there's less threat coming back at me. Or maybe I'll back up for 3 seconds, my team goes in, and then I re-peek now up here to go do it. But, like, if your team is in, you can stay in pretty long with your shots. If your team is not in, it needs to be, like, peek, get a couple shots off, not, and then sort of be done type thing. And by done, I mean you can re-peek from a different location, from a place that they're not already expecting you to be. And you don't get to peek into like sonic arrows, things like that, or widow sights. You get to do this because you have the surprise sort of advantage. And you still don't want to do it when your team just got wiped. There's no point. So like you do it as you get close to when the fight would be starting anyways. You do it when your team is rotating because you're a little bit of a distraction for them, they're a little bit of a distraction for you. You do that, and even if, things get too hot in the team fight, you might change the locations of your peak. You don't just chill here. You don't just live here. You're looking to think with angles more. This wasn't a particularly good spot. This is a better spot. When you were here and you slid over to here, that could be okay, but that leads into a rotation up to here. That leads into a rotation over here as they're pushing past that you then have an extreme angle on them. That's how you want to think about the game on Ashe. You're going to be alone or with minimal support a lot on Ashe because you're going to go do your own things to take advantage of your pretty extreme sightline. Now, do you get closer on Ashe sometimes than you do on Widow because you have your TNT and hey, you kind of like your TNT? Yes. And I was a little gentle on your positioning to start because I could tell you were struggling to hit your TNTs. So I get it, but really you're going to have to get over that and you're going to have to be like, I'll play from here and I'll do a long range TNT throw. Just like I'll do a long range TNT throw from here. And you know what? I'm shooting it from above. Even if it gets all the way to the floor, I can still probably then take time and hit the shot. Like, that's what we're going to do when we're playing our Ashe. We understand we're playing from our angles. We understand we're retreating to different and new angles. We're retreating, in this case, to new and different extreme angles. That's what we're doing. I liked that your pushes up to here sometimes went and took this angle. But again, you want to understand how credible of a threat is my team. They're not being a credible threat, then I might have to take 2 shots and then close the angle. Or take 2 shots and then drop and then try to peek here. Or I take my 2 shots, take 3 shots, oh, they're putting too much pressure on me. I drop, I'm here, I take my shots at the Junkrat that's over there type thing. Like, that's how we want to be thinking about the hero. And we go, hey, I am playing for these angles. I understand I only get to peek for a couple shots, and I understand that I track the sniper, which I just gave you a word salad of things to talk about there. So how do I want to better break this down? Like sniper duels. I can't just be like sniper duels. This is one concept. That's too much, Temporal. That's too much. how do I actually want to break this down? I want to break this down with positioning and peak timing. So I want this to be, I'm taking angles. I am playing from these angles. From these angles. Hey, Major Midget. I'll message you in a bit. I know I owe you a message, but yes, I'm happy to schedule something shortly. Take these angles. Take your angles, understand that when you're peaking angles, you're swapping angles and you're going, hey, if my team isn't providing a credible threat, I need to be moving the angles that I'm playing from somewhat frequently. We talked about how you can use that as reload time for Ashe because her reload time is so extreme. And then the other thing that we're going to want to understand besides, hey, how I'm battling these snipers, I'm mentally tracking these snipers, I'm understanding when I can and can't peak them based on the credible threat that my team is or is not making. If your team's a credible threat, keep on firing. That is fantastic. That is great. And then you're also just going to have to work on your TNTs. Like you are going to have to work on your TNTs in terms of better predicting where players are and in terms of literally just practicing hitting them. Like go in there, do some training, work on them specifically. If you get some mastery of changing angles, controlling angles, etc., practicing that, tracking where the opponent's poke threats are, and you get some practice with your TNTs, you're going to do better. You're going to do better on this hero. Could we talk about your bobs? We could absolutely talk about your bobs. You do want to remember that your bob stops when he hits things. Could we talk a little bit more about how you need to be using your coach gun to move better than you are, how you need to not hit your head, how you need to not just generically bounce yourself into the middle of the open, but instead need to use it to take high ground, need to use it to hit the person that's diving at you to create maximum distance between you and them? Yes, we could. But those are not things I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on understanding this poke battle and when you can peak and how you have to peak from different angles, use angles that are different from your team, rather than just sitting here, and I want you to work on your TNT there. I hope those make sense. If you have questions, let me know now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, all that good stuff. What are you brawling me for, Major Midget? I'm saying I'm sorry that I didn't get back to you faster on Discord. I was on a long call this morning, and then I immediately hopped into a session. I'll get back to you. I'm sorry. Subscribe to Funny Coachman Temporal. Thank you. Thank you. Good stuff. Thanks for the review. Oh, one question. Why is your face not in the thumbnails? Yeah, that's a good question. That is a good question. Um, Silver is a truck stop on the way to bronze for Smurfs. Okay. Alexa, remind me to message Major Midget after this pod. After this pod. How do you not have Alexa? This car is deprived. I mean, maybe if you had an intern. Okay, okay. Looks like that does it. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Okay, I should. What am I doing? I have another session after this. Okay, I will see you guys in a bit, but yeah, that's gonna do it for now. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.